Cats, cops, and C4. Wow, I blanked hard. Sorry for the wait. So, according to the young lady, you are a death-stopping super being that cannot be stopped, cannot be faltered, and cannot be mistaken, Kayombo says in an amused tone. Shock and a severe loss of blood can make people see all sorts of things. Chunk returns and she chuckles. I'm sure. Kayombo says even as Miss Frost sets down the weights and starts moving towards him. Then there's a blur and Shank's adrenaline starts pumping and Axiom is dumped into it. Time slows and all color is undone. His left hand snaps up and deflects a knife hand heading for his neck. Kylan's hand wraps around his wrist and she pulls herself through the air to aim a kick at his head, but she's at enough of a distance that a tilt of his head is enough to dodge it even as she moves through the air. He looks up and sees a tiny dart of wood heading for him, and his right hand comes up and grabs it out of the air, and then uses it to deflect another straight upwards even as Kaylan shifts downwards and roundhouse kicks at him before she lands. The adrenaline bleeds away even as he catches the second pencil-sized dart and then holds them out to her. Good, you're ready at a moment, but you're rather defensive. We're surrounded by people that can't keep up, Chunk replies, and his arm snaps up to catch a punch that's strong enough to ruffle his clothing. You can be attacked at any and all times, despite who and what's around you. Will you value the convenience of another over lives? Will you? We can train when we're not surrounded by non-combatants. When we won't scare them, Chunk says. Besides, haven't you been paid in full to protect her? And part of that is ensuring that her other protectors are up to standard. Your standard is what? 5,000 on one in 5 minutes? Vera teases before snorting. Not that it's not fun to see, but it's usually over so fast you can't make sense of it. Well, if the little kitten can't keep up, that's not my fault now, is it? Kylan says, and there's a shift of movement, and she's suddenly standing next to Vera with her arm outstretched. Vera has her teeth lengthened and her eyes looking outright feral, but nothing else. The empty handmaster is too fast for her. Was that really necessary? Miss Duckett asks in a pleading tone, and Kylan sighs. Somewhat, Kitalan says as she looks back to see Linda putting her shock pistol away again. After all, making sure everyone's ready just in case is a good part of the job. So, now what? Amy asks and Chink shrugs. It's your life to live, Amy. We're just here to make sure you keep it while you enjoy it, he says, and she looks up at him oddly. But, she drifts off and looks away. I don't know how. Huh? Vera asks. I woke up just weeks ago. I was just spare parts before that. Just a backup just in case. I don't know what to do with my life. I've only been to meetings, only done work. I know how to do all of it, but everything else is empty. I have nothing else, Amy says, looking away. Well, what interests you? I don't know, she answers. Is there a type of food you like? I've only eaten takeout and what they sent me on the Dauntless. I'm not sure which kind of cooking that I prefer. I don't know what more that could mean. I see. Well, perhaps you'd like to try something, madam? Miss Duckett tries. Try what? I've been looking up how to be a better servant for you, miss, which includes learning how to cook. I've not only read through several books, but I've had a memory share of how to properly prepare a truly perfect meal for an Aramenta of your stature. Oh, well, maybe, could we both? Amy asked. Both of us, madam? Miss Duckett asks, and Vera throws an arm around the proper rabbi's shoulder. She wants to spend time with you. Go for it, Vera whispers to her. I heard that you know, Amy says. I don't care, Vera responds before shoving Gabriella hard enough she staggers to a stop right in front of Amy. Let's not be stupid here. Little girl needs someone to fill in the role for mommy. And if not you, then who? It would be immensely improper. I am her servant, her employee. I am paid to be here, not responsible for her. If anything, she's responsible for me. So? Vera asks. So it's not proper, not appropriate, and not something that should happen, Gabriella protests. And, Vera presses, what are you not good enough? Can't do it? That's not the point. Well, there's no other point, really, Vera remarks. If you care, if you're part of her life, then you're going to no matter what. So unclench your jaw and do it. Gabriella begins before trailing off. Cenk just sighs as the awkwardness between her and Amy grows. Right? Well, we're here for protection, not family counseling. Leave them alone, Vera, Cenk says, and Vera blows a raspberry in annoyance. But it's stupid drama. It's dumb. No one wants to be honest with themselves. No one wants to talk in sweet goddess. It's like watching the shows that boring girls like to watch. It's annoying. Vera complains before blowing another raspberry. If something's gonna happen, then maybe Short, Rich, and Cole can show us around this oversized shack? Well, I suppose, Amy says, looking away from Gabriella, who straightens out her outfit and then coughs into a fist to clear her throat. Right, well then, young madam. While you're doing that, I'll be in the main kitchen preparing your next meal. Can you prepare enough for everyone? Amy asks, and Gabriella pauses. Of course, I will. Please excuse me, Gabriella says and bustles out of the room. Oh no, this is going drag out for freaking ever, Vera complains even as Gabriella downright marches out of the room. I thought she was doing better. Chunk notes to himself. Not everyone can just stand up and choose to be better. It's the work of decades, of lifetimes. There's a reason your sister still has so far to go, Kailan says. It takes a long time? Amy asks. It does, unless you've got something that's able to outright break you, and then remake you as was done for me and the rest of the Undaunted. What? There's two ways to grow into a better person. Long and steady, or short and painful. Cenk explains before pointing to Kiev. Lan, she's taken the long and steady path. I've taken the relatively short and painful one. Relatively? Yes, relatively. 2 years of hard training with no breaks beyond the bare minimum needed to not outright break is what I did. There's even faster, but it can shatter someone or permanently harm themselves. Cenk says, Oh, what do you recommend? Slow, it's the least miserable path, and you've got enough on your plate without you adding more and more to it, Cenk says. And if that's not enough? Then remembering that others can and will help you if you let them will be a good thing to do, he says. The old Frost never did. Good thing you're not her then, Vera replies. DNA says otherwise. DNA can take a long walk out an airlock, Kielan says. Unlike Miss Arlitos here, I think strength and self is far more a matter of choice than blood. I was just some fast food clerk until I decided to improve myself. I struggled for 100 years before becoming someone. Now here I stand as an empty handmaster. Not that blood doesn't do a lot. There's a reason the Takra are looking for the best. What you do sings in the blood. Your choices will mean a lot to your granddaughters, and your grandmothers will mean a lot to you. Family traits pass a great deal. If you have family, I'm a clone, Amy says, and the things your bio-grandparents did still mean something. Vera counters. Really? Really? Let's look them up. I'm sure you'll find something. Vera insists. I don't think that's how it works. You'll be surprised, Vera says. Okay, that's it. I'm stopping this awkward parade here and now. Miss Frost, can you please show us around? Cenk asks, and there's a shy nod from the young Arumenta. Please? Oh, right, okay then. I haven't fully actually. I mean, outside of the main bedroom and office, there's not much. Amy stammers out, and Cenk puts a comforting hand on her shoulder. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with this. You have only started living your life, haven't you? You have time. It's all right. But, I don't know, this whole place, it's all her interests and desires. All Amanda's. She built all this and I never even knew her. But I'm supposed to be her. There's no body, so this place it's as close to a tomb for her as there is. With how much she loved herself, it would have to be. And what do you mean by that? Right, you haven't seen it. I'll show you. The statuary chamber. The what? Cenk asks. Okay, this is just creepy, Cenk says as they all look down a room with rows upon rows of statues, molded from, carved from, and cast in numerous different materials. All of them look like a sterner and much smugger Amy, meaning it's all Amanda. Yeah, the reason why they needed to wake up the spare parts clone was because the woman was so in love with herself she didn't even bother having a daughter, Amy says wryly. This whole place is her house, and I'm honestly a little scared she'll find some way to get me back from beyond the grave if I mess with parts of it. Like here. So why was she so smug anyways? I mean, sure she's rich, but that's just money. It can be lost in a simple filing accident or a government deciding to be stupid. It doesn't mean anything alone, Vera asks as she prowls around the room, mostly seeing how her own reflection distorts in the reflective statuary. Different people value different things, and subject of the art aside, this room has millions, if not tens of millions of credits worth of art going down this hallway. Probably more if some famous artists are responsible. Linda says here this one was made by Shawalabla. I cannot pronounce this, Vera says, crouching down near the base of one to read the tiny inscription between the feet of the crystal Amanda wearing what looks like an ornate toga crossed with a corset. Got weirder? Weirder? Sure, weirder. You want this place to feel more like home? Then let's take a look at all of it and tell you what it is, Chunk says in a playful tone. And what is this, my son? Kaisalon asks. Idiot vanity, proof positive that no matter how much someone sings the praises of Amanda Frost, she was her own biggest fan, like the rubes that can't account for the future. Amy, little lady, if you're going to take anything from this room, then here's a lesson. Pride comes before the fall. The moment you think you're untouchable is the moment you have all but begged reality itself to reach out and touch you. Vera, what's the dates on those tacky things? Hey, this one's only a couple years old, Vera calls from down the way. See? She was so full of her own damn self that she was getting statues made for her own greatness. And now she's gone and it's all yours. If she was a little more cautious, who knows? You might have woken up to her still being alive and deciding she wants a daughter or something, but there's no way to be sure. Oh, huh, Amy says as she considers that. Do you have something else? The garden? Her official grave is there despite there not being a body, and it was already, Does it look like your face? It looks like her face. I've never worn lipstick or eyeshadow the way she did. Amy replies. Want to go make fun of it? Cenk asks. Yes, Vera calls out, and Cenk gives her an annoyed look. What? It was funny. Yes, I do, Amy says with a smile growing on her face,